Reza, good afternoon to you. How are you, sir?
Good afternoon. Nice to see you again.
It's nice to see you. Now, we're talking this afternoon. We've got our computer man coming in later. He helps people out with their problems. So it's a good idea now to take the whole conversation several steps forward, maybe, and look into the future. And I know a lot of the work that you're doing at the University of Hertfordshire is just that. We're looking at computerised homes.
Yes.
Now, when I came and did the programme from the university, part of what I saw that day was the robot.
Yes.
Now, I've never been entirely convinced by robots because I don't know what it is. I certainly couldn't have a relationship with one, and I don't think I could ever get used to talking to it as if it was a sort of a person. But we're not really. Are we talking that this afternoon, or are we talking the way? Well, you're talking here on this discussion paper that you've given me about being able to regulate your home almost from any part of the world.
Sure. I mean, let me just tidy up the subject about robots first. There's a lot of work yet to be done with robots. I mean, first of all, it's their motor skills. It's their interaction with their environment, to make sure that it is safe, to make sure that they can live with humans and they can do the sort of things that humans desire them to do. We shouldn't become subservient to robots. And then there is the social skills. It's the nature of interaction with humans and actually recognizing that they are part of a human society with human frailties, and making sure that they can actually do things that doesn't upset humans and complements the human needs. But a smart home goes beyond accommodating robots. A smart home goes beyond simply having a series of robots around the house and cleaning after you, or automating certain processes for you, or cutting the lawn for you, or cleaning your kitchen, or tidying up the sitting room. A smart home is about the concept of developing homes, residential areas, that as part of their infrastructure will have communication networks built in, so that communication from room to room between intelligent devices, between electronic devices, can be accommodated. And if you can build that feature into the infrastructure, you then enable yourself to, in time, purchase or develop technology in different parts of your house that interact with each other. And by programming the technology, by teaching the technology, they can accommodate your needs more effectively.
Can I just sort of throw the things at you as my own simple mind begins to think of them, because some of them are observations. One is that obviously these machines, hopefully some of them in the future, will make life easier for us. But it's almost like the computer that we've got in our house, isn't it? In the sense that it is only actually achieving the most minimal amount of what it could really achieve for us, and it's only as good as what the human being puts into it. So this fear that we've got of being taken over by this stuff actually is not it's not relevant, is it? I mean, what we've got to worry about and be concerned about is that the moral side of it, really, when it comes to using a computer, that's the one thing, isn't it? So on the other hand, I can see how what you're talking about wouldn't simply make life more easy for us, but could help us to, say, for example, save on heating, save on water, and these sorts of things, which would be absolutely marvellous for the world of the future.
Yes. Let me just give you an example. Let me paint a scenario for you. You mentioned the computer. The computer at the moment sits in your office. It probably receives fax for you. It allows you to type your letters. It allows you to then electronically transmit your letters to recipients globally. It allows you to manipulate digital photographs, and if you're very adventurous, it also allows you to convert your video footage and put it on DVD. At the hub of a smart home, there is a computer type system where a central computer, in collaboration with other intelligent devices around the house, work together to create a better environment for you. They can control the humidity, they can control the temperature, they can control the lighting, they can engage with you in a manner that suits you as you walk from room to room. And in fact, they can cater for the needs of more than one inhabitant of the house. They can track individuals by tracking their voice, by tracking their body signature, by tracking various biometric parameters. And as those individuals move throughout the house, they can create an environment that suits the needs of that individual, of those individuals. Imagine that you are living with elderly. Imagine that you are living with disabled. And as those individuals travel and move throughout the house, their needs will be different. Their needs will have to be accommodated, or can be accommodated, by an intelligent home that, in the case of a disabled, for instance, lowers the cabinets in the kitchen for easier access. In the case of elderly, allows better environmental temperature control, better humidity control as they move from one room to another. The temperature in a room that suits you doesn't necessarily suit a person with
right
problems.
Yeah, I can see how that would enrich people's lives. Could it be the case, and just sort of going back and making some observations from my past, my experience, because I'm older than everybody put together in the room, whenever you see, or whenever you used to see, the next new wonderful technological advance, it was always sold to us, and probably still is, in a way that really doesn't seriously tell us what it can really do for the future. All we get, if you like, is a little thumbnail sketch and says, look, this technology will pull the curtains for us, which we all think, oh, yeah, that's great. It's a bit like having a bigger TV screen. I mean, you can do without it, you know. But so does that in some way belittle a lot of the fantastic work that people like yourselves are doing at our universities, because you're looking at something, yeah, okay, you want those things, but you're looking at far more serious aspects of it as well, aren't you?
Sure. It's an area that is evolving. If you look at any component in isolation from the bigger community of components, bigger family of components, you could trivialize what they do. You could say, well, okay, it simply opens and closes the curtains for me when I'm away from home. But if you then made it as part of a routine that fitted in with the rest of the operations, the rest of the parameters that controlled you and your family's needs in a home, then it brings in a degree of freedom, it brings in a degree of control to your environment that could not readily be seen as a device in isolation. As I mentioned, these things are evolving, whereas somebody's idea 2 days ago may be a product, maybe a design on somebody's table tomorrow, and in a week's time it may be produced in Taiwan, and in a month's time it would be available in shops. At the end of the day, we're limited to our own imagination, to our own vision as to how we wish to incorporate that as part and parcel of our future needs.
It's always fascinating talking to somebody such as yourself, and you know, when I came down to the university to meet some of your colleagues as well, because you begin to realise just how widely what you and your colleagues are trying to do affects us all, or will affect us in the future. And there are lots of other things which impinge upon it, aren't there, in the sense that the things that you are looking to create for us all, for our future and for our kids, to enrich that, will maybe impinge upon, I don't know, say for example you come up with a cooker.
Yes.
I don't know, solar-powered, say a solar-powered cooker. It might already be out there for a while now, I don't know, Razor, but you come up with a solar-powered cooker and it's the ultimate, because it self-cleans.
Yes.
So it's never dirty. You don't have to wipe the surfaces off it. And you don't have to light it, because the computer will sort of more or less be able to do it all. And by and large, you're only going to need one of those ever in your life. And if you move that theory forward and say, therefore, you're only going to need what we understand now to be a washing machine, or a dishwasher, but in the future will look somewhat different and maybe save a lot of water. You can see where I'm moving here,
sure.
Can't you? It's the fact that at the end of the day, people who manufacture those things won't necessarily be wanting them, because we are now sadly driven by the idea of having maybe a new... I mean, my mum had a gas cooker, probably your mum did, had a gas cooker that you grew up with, and you never wanted to get rid of it.
Yeah.
But now, you go around one of the big stores, you think, oh, that looks nice, I'll have one of those. And you know it's only going to last for about 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, necessity is the mother of invention, but having invented and having then perfected, you could actually kill the economy that prospered from that invention. This goes without saying. It's like developing car engines that run on seawater. The end of all problems to do with pollution and ecology and so on and so forth. Technology that is available to us, that is available through high street shops, moves incrementally. It moves by small steps, although from year to year you may actually see different color, you may see different features, you may see enhanced features, you may see new buzzwords, but it is an incremental change. Step changes in our current society are very, very, very difficult to accommodate because of the infrastructure investment that has been made from the turn of the previous century and the Industrial Revolution till now, and to just simply overwrite all that investment, to create a step change, to produce new technologically marvelous equipment that would basically be the best of their generation, is literally impossible. So we've got a fair way to go yet before we reach that. It inspires people. That incremental change does inspire people to look at the next stage, to look at the stage after that, and so on and so forth. It's what makes the economy go round.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you for that. If you've just come in, then or indeed joined us, got my guest in the studio this afternoon is Reza Zadutu from the University of Hertfordshire. We're talking computerised homes, we're talking satellite technology, and if you've got any questions or observations to make, we would like to hear from you. 08459 455 555 is the number. You can email at www.bbc.co.uk/3counties, or indeed get us through the text, which is 07760173737. Reza, I know that you said you're happy to talk about satellite technology and also about the potential of that technology and how systems like GPS helps us on a daily basis. You're going to have to help me on a daily basis here, mate, because I'm lost when it comes to this stuff. Whenever I listen to satellite, the only time I know it's on satellite is when somebody in a studio here in London says hello, and there's a gap when somebody says from Beirut hello, and I know it's satellite. But I mean, where is that taking us in the future?
Well, let's first of all differentiate between different types of satellites and what it is that they're doing to us, for us, that we can relate to on a daily basis. You've basically got different groups of satellites. The two that we are familiar with are the communication satellites that are used for beaming signals up from Earth to the satellites, for them to be reflected back to Earth, but on a much wider span. And that is basically your digital TVs, your digital, your satellite TVs, and so on and so forth. Then there is another group of satellites that orbit the Earth, and they provide information about the conditions of Earth. And there are in particular 24 groups of satellites which were launched by the American Space Agency that orbit the Earth twice a day at a speed of 7,000 miles an hour. And they have positioned themselves in such a way that through triangulation methods, which is a mathematical term, used to locate and orientate your position within 3 nodes.
So these would be the satellites that control and steer and navigate these huge liners and whatnot. Then that's how it's done, and also the oil rigs.
Well, they're orbiting the Earth. There's 24 of them. They're traveling at 7,000 miles an hour. And what you need is a satellite receiver, a GPS receiver. And the GPS receiver's job is actually to track the signals that those satellites are sending, and then work out your position on Earth's surface, with respect to those traveling satellites. And those are the ones that have started to have a greater impact on you and I over the last possibly last 10 years, because the last one was commissioned in 2005, but it was the system was actually switched on for commercial use in 1994.
Right.
And they're the ones that provide you with information that allows you to navigate your in-car navigation system, aircraft navigation systems, marine navigation systems, have now, their techniques have now been enriched through the use of those satellites through the civilian frequency. They actually beam information on other frequencies. Their spectrum is very wide. And the civilian frequency, which is L1, is the one that you and I use in order to get us from A to B.
Right. Another naive question for you, Reza, from me, and that is, there's a lot of talk at the moment about I think it's our Trident missile system that we've currently got is going to be updated, because in 15 years' time it's going to be out of date. I'm not going to ask you about Trident or get into politics, but what I don't understand is, as far as I'm aware, the countries who do have that sort of nuclear arsenal have in that arsenal things like Trident, which are capable of wiping out a town or a city or whatever, and it's operated by computers.
Yeah.
Driven by them. And why do they have to be updated? Because we know that they already have the capacity to knock out, whatever they want to knock out. So why are they? I mean, is that something to do with the computer's system that we're going to be learning so much more? I mean, how can it become more sophisticated?
Okay, it's intelligence and counterintelligence. The technology, we don't have exclusive right over knowledge, and the knowledge that led to the development of the technology that currently is outdated may have been exclusive to the society or the countries that exploited that knowledge at that time. That knowledge is now widespread, and there are countries, there are societies that are now as well informed about that knowledge and have developed technologies to counteract those particular technologies. So in a sense, these technologies are leapfrogging each other. And whereas you had offensive technology before, which relied on a particular standard that was exclusive to the Western society at that time, that technology is now being undermined or counter-affected by a complementary technology from other societies. And therefore you've got to constantly move forward and constantly develop new standards and new technologies to either make it more efficient or make it out of the reach of the people who've actually discovered how your technology works.
Okay, thanks for that. We'll just take a short break and we'll come back. There's a couple more questions I'd like to ask you.
Hard hitting.
I've had a very good day selling my bricks.
How many did you sell today, Kim?
About 70,000-80,000 class.
Oh,
Serious.
what we're having for dinner tonight?
Salmon.
Salmon tonight in the Barber household. What's the pudding?
I haven't got pudding. You had pancakes last night.
I've been meaning to talk to you this.
Professional.
And what do you do at your meetings then? What do you get up to at the Whisper Society meeting?
Well, we have a period of silence. And then we have a couple more.
Cutting edge.
What are the police saying about this?
He was found here with half a pound of Tusney rice and half a pound of treacle.
Well, maybe not.
I'm a minor celebrity. I think a minor celebrity.
Ronnie Barber. Weekdays from 5. BBC Three Counties Radio. Get through to the experts now.
08459 455 555.
John Pilgrim in the afternoon.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
My guest in this half hour of the programme is from the University of Hertfordshire, Reza Salutu, and I love that name, Reza.
Yes.
No, I do. It just isn't you, if you see what I mean. Because you think one of those blokes and one of those tough, punchy up sort of movies, don't you, with a bald head and all that, Razor Ruddock and all that.
Right, that's very nice of you. That's not the way I see myself, but that's fine.
Having a really interesting conversation here. When you wake up in the morning, I mean, I know that you love the job that you do and you're hugely enthusiastic about the work of the university. How is it for you in terms of being able to concentrate just on one project, because the world must be your oyster, technologically speaking, in things that you want to try and do, maybe things you bring to the university to research or to build or to construct. How do you manage to home in on one thing and work on it?
It's taken quite a long time to develop a sense of focus. Clearly, as an institution, we have our mission is, our core business is education, and I'm particularly privileged to be working in a discipline, in an area that is pushing the frontiers of knowledge forward, pushing the frontiers of technology forward, and more importantly, we're actually educating the next generation of graduates that are promoting that concept in the future society. And our own discipline, electronic communication, microelectronics, is the one that is finding its way in many walks in life, from entertainment through to education, through to health, transportation, communication, navigation, and so on and so forth. You're right, it is difficult to focus, but the key is to focus the minds of groups to be able to collectively look at a collective objective, a common mission, and then encourage them and motivate them to specialize in their own areas as they travel, as they make the journey towards that collective objective. And we do this as part of our teaching, we do this as part of our research, and inevitably we would have to be selective. You know, it's a very it's a very fast-growing discipline. As I mentioned, it is finding its way in many walks in life, and we have to be very selective about what it is that we can do and match our capability to our own aspirations.
One of the other things which you must, well, I know you find exciting, is what I noticed when I came, not just to the university itself, but to the surrounding area of Hatfield and St Albans, and the way that the university has become so much part of that area that it just doesn't seem to be true. I mean, it's actually helped those areas to thrive, and part of what you do is to involve and become part of the local community in a way which I hadn't really imagined before. We're really lucky to have seen the University of Hertfordshire form and then start to grow in that way, aren't we?
I mean, university as a whole has a mission to work with the community, has a mission to basically support the society, and in particular the regional economy and the regional community. We're a small school. We're one of many schools in the institution. But let me give you an example of what we do in order to fulfill that mission. We are an electronic communication, electrical engineering department. We train engineers. By the nature of what we do, we engage with industry. We engage with our own sector of industry, which is electronics, telecommunication, microelectronics, and computing industry, because we produce graduates for those sectors. But also, through programs such as this, we try to take what we do in laboratories, what we do in classes, what we do in lectures, out and make it more accessible to the community. We try to reach out.
Which is what you've been very successful at, I believe.
We've been very fortunate that we've had the support of our regional industry. We have an industrial advisory group, 14 members strong, and they have been very supportive of what we do. They have informed us about their needs, their graduate employment needs. They have informed us about what it is happening in their own sector so that we can build it into our own programs, so that our programs are innovative and up to date. They have provided us with bursaries and scholarships and prizes, and our graduates actually prosper. They benefit from having achieved not only academic standards and a degree, but also having been awarded a particular prize from a particular company, and it stays with them for life.
Right. It's always good to see you, sir, because you are so enthusiastic about your work and what you do, and indeed all your colleagues are as well. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you very much indeed for your time.